Hello and welcome to another edition of So Your Wife Wants You To. In this edition, so the wife wants me to go ahead and put in a basement bathroom. Not an easy feat, but we can do it. So I've done some framing already. I wanted to show you today some little framing trickery here. So we got these water pipes that go, we got the hot water is insulated there, and you got the cold water right next to it. Now, we got a frame around those. Obviously, we can't crush them. So we're going to go ahead and put in a nailer piece right by these studs. Now, I'm going to have to go ahead and cut a nailer piece that's big enough. But we're going to have to join it right there. And then do another nailer on this side. So it'll make more sense when I actually do it. I'll show you here. I'm going to go get my step stool and some 2x4s. Alright, we got our pre-measured board here. We're going to go ahead and marry them on up together. Etc. So look at that. We got that. Now we're going to go over there with the other one, but let me nail this in first. I'm not one to typically swing a hammer too often, so I got this nice framing nailer. A little bit easier than the old hammer trick. A little bit more noise though. Hard to work at about 2 a.m. when all the family's sleeping. I'll also want to watch the gas lines and the water lines right next to there. It would be a ghastly mistake. Now, on a past episode of So Your Wife Wants You To, she wanted me to find the tape measure. She couldn't find hers, so I gave her mine. Now she can't find mine. So instead of the tape measure, we're using this thing here to measure. And I put her at, let's see, 21 inches. We gotta measure out. From there to there, to make a nice header to go over those pipes. So 21, let's go do it. Let's see how well I measured here. It fits just about right there. Flush on that end. Flush right there. Alright, let's nail her in. Like a glove. Alright, now we're going to frame out this corner here. Got that all set up. So, she's going to be resting on this footer here. So you put the board there. Just like that. Then, bring it on up here and make our little pencil mark. So that's going like this. Yes, I'm holding it with my leg as I use the video recorder and the pencil. Just like that. Cut her and make her fit. Now, one of my favorite sayings is, when in doubt, hit it with a hammer. And this is not an exception. So, we got this board here. We ain't nailed it in yet. Just cut it to shape. Now we want to make sure it's nice and flush against there. If we need to hit it with a hammer a little bit, just to get it right there. Now I think it needs a little bit right there. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's check out the bottom. We got it right in there. I cut it to where it's not going to be too short. And really like nail it in. See how that's flush like that? Looks real nice. That's perfect. The drywall will fit right flush against there like that. Now we can nail her in. Now the ends of the walls, I always think of as a waist, because we got this stud here, and then we're gonna put the door like right there. So we're gonna put like another stud right here. And when we do the footer down on the floor, there's going to be another stud coming up right here against it, going this way. So we got like 3 studs, all in just about a 6-inch area space. That's just the way it goes when you do the carpentry. Alright, back at you in just a minute. I'm going to cut a couple more pieces of wood. Alright, now one thing I want to teach you about the basement bathrooms is you can count on the studs up here to all be level. What you can't count on to be level is the floor. And the reason for that is this whole floor in this whole basement all slopes to that drain right there in the center of your screen. And so, some people are tempted to measure from the ground up, but with a door, you want it to be completely level. So you actually want to measure from the top down. And we make this piece of wood, it's a special piece of wood right here called, I like to call it master and slave. But this piece of wood right here, it's actually two 2x4s going all the way down, going onto that footer there. Master and slave. You want to make sure that the one you do on the other side of the door, it's going to be measured from the top down. So this distance right there is going to be the same. Don't measure this board going all the way to the floor, because it's going to be a different length over here. Instead, measure this distance right there. And we're going to take that distance off of a 2x4. It'll make more sense when we actually do it. Alright, let's get to working. Okay, now the next thing. See that jack line right there? I already measured that this wall here is completely square. So now I took the chalk line, did this a couple days ago. That jack line goes all the way to right there. So we know when we do this little footer piece that we gotta line it up against that chalk line. Always make sure you use chalk lines and geometries. Go back to 7th grade when you learned all that stuff. Or 9th or whatever grade it was. All your triangles, sines, cosines, tangents, stuff like that. We're gonna put that right there. We gotta measure the distance from there to there first. I might have to cut this a little bit. But wanted to point out, make sure everything is square and plumb. And now we're actually ready to measure that door. So, like I said, the lovely wife took the tape measure. So we are using this nice yardstick. And that's fine. We still love her to pieces, even though she takes all our tools. Alright, we're looking at 31 and a half here. So we want to measure this at 31 and a half. It's going to be the width of this. That's what we call a slave piece there. All the way over. Make sure that your yardstick's on a chalk line. The 31 and a half. So it looks like we got to shave off about a half an inch from this thing here. So I'm going to do the math with the pencil in 2 hands, and we'll have a slightly shorter board here in a second. Alright, we went ahead and cut that board, put it right back there. I'll show you here. Now we're looking at the, well, it looks like 31. But I think it's actually 31 and a half. Yep, that's the problem right there. That's why I need to get the tape measure instead of all this crap. Alright, that's back to where it should be. That's why we always measure twice, cut 3 times, go back, see what we did wrong, measure again, realize we weren't measuring right in the first place. Anywho, let's see. How are we going to anchor this little tiny piece? I've been known to use some liquid nails to anchor down large pieces, because you're also wedging them up into the top. But for this little guy, I might actually use a little tap gun. This is a really dark photo here. Anywho, this is a rotary hammer. We're going to just tap gun that in to the concrete. I'll get that set up and I'll show you. Okay, so here's the little concrete anchor we're going to use. A little 1/4 inch Phillips, nothing too big. Go ahead and drill a hole in there. tap it in, tighten it, should be good. Okay, loading up the Bosch here. Press it in, put that puppy in there, and we're about ready to go. Now watch how nicely this thing goes in here. It's going true to wood and true to concrete. Pretty nice. Check it out. And we got to plug her on in here first. Let's go get the extension cord. I'm telling you, this is a real life show. This is not one of them polished shows you see on TV or anything like that. This is me doing the work. So not everything always goes according to plan. Now let's make sure this is right there on the jack line. Right there. Right there. Just like that. We're going to hold it with the foot. And now, it should work. If it doesn't work this time, there's something else wrong. That was about 2.5 inches, which means 1.5 inches for the 2x4. Now I got a nice hole there in the concrete. Now next, one of the coolest tools is this little air bulb. Ready to see a little geyser? Check this out. Actually, I don't do too many of these square inch holes, so it might not work too well, but we're gonna give her a try. Blowing everything out of there. Sometimes it was a little bit more dramatic. Anyway, alright, next. Get all the dust off of there. I'll sweep that up later. Probably in a few weeks. You think I'm kidding. Alright, next you can put this in there. Tap her on in. Go get the hammer. Give her the old tappy tappy. She's in the concrete. Now we're going to tighten it. I got the big screwdriver. Usually don't like slotted screws, but this is all I had before having to go to the hardware store. I don't want to do all that. Let's get it nice and tight. Tight as you can. Here. Yeah, tight as you can. Tight as you can. Alright. And piece of wood's not going anywhere. Done. Alright, let's figure out what's next. Time to put in a little bit more ammo. Nails. Might be, if you're really astute, you might be saying, why is this guy using galvanized nails? Well, it's because this thing here was $40. This whole framing nailer. And wouldn't shoot the normal kind of nails. The only kinds that would shoot are the galvanized ones. I don't know why, but I think they're just a slightly smaller ring shank. So that's what I got. Got a whole bunch of them. Alright, let's get the nail in here. I got this guy. I showed you him a minute ago. Go ahead and put a couple in there. This thing is so much better than a hammer. Oh, until it doesn't work, then it's not as good. Alright. Alright. Now for the sleeve. Line it up just fine there. Gargus. Now for the attachment of this piece, I just go like this. times about 3 or 4. You can anchor it down to the footer if you want to. Doesn't really matter. That's about it. This piece here is what I'm calling the slave. And this slave over here are going to have a board on top of them. And that's what's going to hold the door. So what board we got over here? This little scrap piece there looks good. Let's see. Alright, so we're going to draw a line. See, it's over here. We're going to draw a line right there and cut right there. Alright, here we go. She's all cut. Looks like she fits just fine. So this is kind of the skeleton for the door. See how that looks? Now I'm going to go ahead and put one nail in one of the sides. And that'll just kind of hold it there. And I'm going to dry fit this door, make sure it fits. Knock knock, is anyone in there? Eh? Oh wait, we can just look this way. Nope, nobody's in there. Anyway, we got this thing all ready to go here. Got her fit in there pretty well. Had to finagle with it a little bit, but it's good. And now it's time. We got the slightly smaller nailer. This one shoots 2-inch brad nails. We're just gonna, what I like to do is just like this. We're nailing the frame to that slave board. 1, and do it 3 or 4. Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with. Remember that if you have kids, or if you have an angry wife, not that I have the latter, but if you have kids, these guys like to slam doors. And when they slam doors, this stuff might start getting loose after a while. So go ahead and, if you throw a few more nails in there, it's really not a bad idea. Again, 2-inch brad nails. Now see down here? Down here, that's not all the way perfect. So we like to, this is where I want to get a little technical here. And really, here's your knee. Because remember, we don't got anybody working here with us. Use your knee or whatever you need. You can use a clamp. Say knee's just as good. Get that flush. And go ahead and sink 1 or 2 in there. Really press hard. Tight is right, Tight is right. Oh no. Best as you can. Do the same over on this side. And you got yourself a door. Basically, without further ado, basically we're just gonna nail up at the top, nail into that board there, and that's it. Door's mounted. Plenty more to do around here, as you can see. Alright, stay tuned. Please share, comment, subscribe, everything. Give me a thumbs up if you like this, and never mind the mess. Don't give me a thumbs up for the mess. That's a thumbs down, but thumbs up, and it helps me to make some more videos. Thank you. Goodbye.